Hey everyone, Butley here. I am with Patch and we're doing Tactics Ogre. How are you doing, Patch?
I am doing good. I
Doing
mean, you're really the one doing Tactics Ogre. I'm just watching and talking.
well, doing the theoretical Let's Play. Actually, these aren't. I mean, Let's Play is a bit of a broad term. We're not really explaining the game that much. We're just sort of using this as a vessel to chat about things that we would normally talk about anyway in our own time. So, sharing that with the world. What we're seeing today, a bit of cleaning, looking through some of the Warren stuff. This is a shorter episode. Here's an example. We can see an update to Sistina. Now she's joined us. It's filled out her profile a little bit more. She was driven from Heim after Abuna Branton ousted her father from power. So that's the leader of Baccaram. I keep thinking there's another A in there. It's just Baccaram. She's Sistina's youngest sister, and like she joined after judging we shared similar values. I don't know if that remains to be seen because I don't know if our values have been shown that much, short of the massacre of Balmamusa. I don't know if we really played our hand there. Sure we showed what we are, but I don't know. Not massacring people doesn't really explain your ideologies, I don't think. See, that's pretty cool.
That was the last they ever saw about him.
It explains that he was from a noble family, and this guy is from the academy, a teacher at the academy, so they're both like high-class people who disagreed with what's going on. What do we do here? I think I go through the three guys, because I wanted to explain. So, Branson Morn is the background leader. Basically,
Okay.
he just made a political play when there was a king of the whole of Valeria, and the king died, and that's when we split to Baccaram, Wallister, and Galgastani. And so this guy made a political power play. I just mentioned him because he showed up in Sistina's comments and Volkert's and that. They were like, they disagreed with what he did. And I've shown this off a few times. I just wanted to explain this is just the chariot. The game has a whole like chariot of time sort of thing. And basically this goes through every episode. So any cutscene or any battle I want to go redo, I can click on and go and have a read about it. It links you to all the Warren stuff. And you can see some of the cutscenes and that. I was just showing the fork in the road there as well. And you can see the massive fork here. Like we went north of this because we chose to not do the massacre. Should have zoomed out there, but
Wait. Oh boy.
What?
I think I just read that the first chapter was prologue, and then the second chapter was prelude.
What's that mean? What's your concern?
Oh, it just means that the next two chapters are where shit gets real.
Well, like I said, we're about to, and this is the cutscene we're going to watch. We're about to watch the Hierophant and Balbatos, and that will leave the Wallister pretty much 1v1 against the Baccaram. And they still have conflicts just because the Baccaram hasn't been powerful enough to fight us yet. So we're going to watch the execution of Balbatos.
There's surprisingly few guards there.
What do you mean? They have the archery support at the back.
They've got like 5 guys, and then maybe the leader, and then maybe some of the crowd would join them.
I actually like looking at the crowd. I really wish, like, I don't know, I just look at them. It's like, okay, so there's a few copies of the priest in like the Abuna clothes in the black with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
I want one of them on my team. I don't care what class they are or what they do. I just want them. I just think it's a cool costume. And just things like that. I like some of the pictures. Like the guy in the top right with the white hair and the green shawl. I thought that's cool.
Wow. This guy's being a bit bold.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. He's like, be done with it, and the guy walks off and he like procrastinates even more just to mock him.
No, I mostly mean, he doesn't... Everyone's gonna know that it was him who personally executed him. Seems like a a big deal.
Nah. He's mostly using this to rally support. It's supposed to be public. He's trying to dash all the resistance of Galgastani because now the leader's gone, and his whole war speech has been based upon the Wallister needs to stand up and fight the oppression and stuff. So band together. He actually calls them executioner though.
Oh, okay, that's okay then.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't do it personally.
I like this, like the Abuna comes up and he has his little prayer book, the little red one, and you know, I don't know, I like it. Falahar is the god of the realm, at least in one trait. There's some stuff where people are like, I'm so sick of hearing about Falahar and stuff like that, but you'll find that Sistina and all that are kind of, they believe in that as well. A lot of your Valkyries or mages or clerics are all down that path. And this is kind of cool. Balbatos here is basically saying, look, on another day, you know, this could be you, we're kind of the same. He's trying to draw parallels between Galgastani and Wallister. And it's kind of interesting because it's not untrue. I mean, it's like every decision we make. So we'll fight someone, and they're not always bad people. Like, they've got investments and stuff. A lot of the people who are chasing this down for the massacre at Balma Musa, you know, they had good conviction. They were just misled. You know, how are we any better informed? You know? Kill me now because they tire of war. What cause will they proclaim when it's you?
They cut away.
It's kind of a tiny sprite. It's probably harder still to animate just the sprite of a head.
Yeah, true.
That was cool. So that was pretty interesting. I kind of enjoyed it. This is just the mention of... I couldn't remember if we'd looked at this, but I must have because I didn't have the noob, but yeah. And this is just... it just shows on the map where Corotana Keep is. We're sort of... If you look down to the bottom right of that little image, that's where Goliath is, and we went further around the coast. You'll see it at the end of the episode. So I just wanted to explain where the Duke is right now and stuff like that. Yeah, see there you can see we're nowhere near any of that. And we're sneaking into Rhyme, whereas if we'd gone straight up the coast, we would have gone straight up the middle where we were intending to. We would have gone precariously close to where they were and where all their forces were. I think what I like most about Falkirk is just his custom armor. Like, it's not like you can change his armor, it's more his custom sprite. I don't mind ourselves, but it's sort of...
Well, she doesn't stand out that much.
I just like we have a golden knight. Like, could you be any more noble than a golden knight? Like, wow. And yeah, I mean, it seems alright right now. We've got a few knights. What am I doing? I'm just sorting. I should have sat on the page a bit. We've got a few knights. We've got a few... We've got a few lower level classes like the ninjas and the beast tamers and stuff like that. We will get to utilizing them a lot more in the future. As you've seen, it's kind of a liability to take any of them into combat, so you have to just be careful how you slowly grow them up. Right now too, in the early levels, and I mean level 10, 12 is not too early, but in the early levels it's really, there's a huge skill gulf between, like if you're level 5 fighting a level 6, then your damage output is like halved. Whereas if it's like level 11 versus level 12, you still deal a significant amount of damage, even if not sort of max. So levels themselves kind of scale how much you can do, how much damage you take and stuff.
I have some suspicions. Am I allowed to make wild claims?
Oh yeah.
Right
so
now?
What I should do is, what were the three? Did I tell you 3 things that happened from here on out? So what happens is I recorded about 3 more episodes from here, and I said to Patch, there are a few things that happen, and you were starting to speculate, and I won't give spoilers. Like Aaron's like, these are spoilers, but
well, they're spoilers to me because I read into this sort of thing, but someone who's just following along casually wouldn't.
They weren't specific spoilers. So do you remember what 3 things were? I forget what I mentioned.
I only remember the one.
I remember saying we meet an old, I don't know, what did I refer to them as? An adversary slash someone we'd met before.
Yeah.
And
It was definitely you definitely gave the impression of a foe.
yep.
Do you want me to say my potentially spoiler response?
Oh yeah, because you don't know, so you can't be
well, I don't
spoiling.
know.
You can guess, man.
So-
I mean, we've only met so many people. Which ones are the most likely?
So my anticipation was that it would be Nibeth, the Necromancer, because at this point, Vice and Leonar are too far removed from us. Like, they're close to us in the sense of motive and such, but in the terms of the flow of the story, we most recently had an encounter with Vice, and it's not likely that we'll face him again in short stature. We might meet him one or two more times, and in those next two times, we'll kill him. That's because that's Vice's story arc. I can almost guarantee that. So I assumed that it wouldn't be Leonar or Vice because we've moved away from them. That was the whole boat thing. We're off they're off the trail. So instead, it should be Nibeth. And I think that because, in terms of story, Nibeth was introduced in the first chapter. He didn't seem... he seemed important, but not relevant at the time. And now that the story is moving on, and the execution has just happened, especially now that the execution has just happened, and that things are progressing, it's a great time to reintroduce him and say, look, this guy is still out there, he's still doing things, he's still a potential threat, and he's still relevant to the story, just not yet. And so this would be the perfect opportunity to introduce him as sort of a wild card.
And I would say, in advance to that theory, he is also independent, so the death of
that's the other thing.
Hierophant Bobtos doesn't really affect him.
But it can be to his benefit. He can manipulate the circumstance to his benefit.
Certainly, and the fact that it's kind of known now where Duke Rowney is. And he's up there, and he's well away, because remember when we last saw Nibeth, Nibeth, it was in the south.
Yep.
And that is actually where we've been recently. And last time, remember, we didn't actually, he was an optional fight. It was sort of like, oh, remember that castle you cleared out? Nibeth is down there if you want to go there. So it would make kind of sense if he was, like, it's like, oh, you cleared Goliath out? He's in Goliath.
So
that's a theory crafting, by the way. I'm not giving this away. This was just the conversation we already had about this. Excuse me.
That is definitely my number one guess, though. I don't think it would be... I can't think of anyone else it could be. No one else leaps out who's survived our fights, other than Leonar, the Duke, and Vice. Okay. Those are the only three, and then Nibeth would be the last one. Unless they're going to reintroduce like the one of the Lancelots, the Dark Lancelot, but I don't think that's relevant yet. I don't think that's the point in the narrative.
Okay, so
if you know what I mean.
Let's ask another question then. So we've been basically the whole of chapter 2. We decided we're going to find Lancelot. And everything else that's been happening in the world has kind of been happening in the world. It's not all been related to us. But we've definitely been on this path to Rhyme to find the Holy Knight Lancelot. So what do you reckon is going to happen there? So we, theoretically now we can sail straight to Rhyme. Are we going to meet him? Are we going to, is it another trap? What do you think?
No, I suspect you will meet him. Because I do feel like we've played enough fights that we're getting quite far along in this chapter. I feel like we're about to reach the head of the chapter is the thing. We're about to reach that defining moment that ends the chapter in either the next battle or the one after that, basically. And so I think you will find Lancelot. And if I can go crazy, I think he'll die. And I think it will be at the hands of Nibeth. I think the alternative is you find him, you save him, he joins you. No, I think that's it. I still don't think it's going to be the Dark Knights. I just don't think it's going to be the Dark Knights.
Well, the Dark Knights did have a pact, right?
They did.
We had a pact with them not to fight the Wallister. And it was with the Duke.
That's what I mean.
And so now that the Dukes rose to power, they would be breaking that pact if they did anything.
Yeah, and I don't think that they would... I feel like they're for later in the story. They seem like more of a big deal, if you know what I mean.
Well, I love that aspect of it because... what you can understand, so the Holy Knights are from Zenobia, and the Dark Knights are from Lotus, and you look at it and you go, oh, that's like so cliche, but at the same time, when you think of them, if they're at war, if you're at war and your enemies go, oh, we've created the Dark Knights, it's an elite special ops team or whatever.
Yeah,
it makes sense. if you're their enemy, to then go, well, we're going to make the Holy Knights to directly, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's the sort of thing you would do. So I don't mind it, you know. It's like, it's silly as it sounds that they both have like basically these deliberately opposite sides of the mirror knight groups. And yeah, the name Lancelot being a joint is a bit of sort of fluff from the developer having a good laugh, whatever. But the fact that there's two orders of knights, I think it's cool. And you can see what I just tried to do on the screen there. I tried to pick up a second recruitment thing, but you can only have one at a time. It sucks.
I have another wild theory that I was wondering if I could throw out there.
Yeah, we got 2.5 minutes. Knock yourself out.
Okay, so I've noticed in this game so far, Katua has been with us this entire time. She's been a guest this entire time. I suspect she's going to die. Somewhere in the story. I don't know, because it's at the point where we have clearly shown that we're doing the right thing. And she wouldn't be a hanger-on at this point in the sense that she's a guest. She would either join us or she's meant for something else. And I think what is going to happen is she's going to die at some point. Usually, you know, almost definitely as a story element. It might even be Vice that kills her. It might be the point where Vice has gone too far, and he's unforgivable.
What do you mean? I think he's already unforgivable.
Well, he's unforgivable, but
he murdered all them people.
but yeah, I think eventually, I think he's going to. It might possibly be him who kills Katua, and I think she will die at the hands of I don't know who, but I think that's her story path, because as she's been around for so long, it's just a wonder, like, what are they doing with her? When does her story arc resolve? She doesn't seem to be making any progress, so I assume she's just there to inevitably be the death, to motivate you or your characters or something. That's all I wanted to say.
No,
that's
pretty
last
interesting. Like, because I can't look at this independently anymore. It's been so long since I
that's
last
fine.
played, so it's really interesting to see how it looks at this stage. I know for a fact that you have points that will be fun to talk about in the future.
Great.
Anyway, we'll wrap that up here, and thanks to everyone for watching. If you're watching and you want to throw some comments to speculate, it'd be even more fun. I love learning what everyone sees and what everyone thinks and how people understand situations differently. So thanks for your time, guys. We will catch you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe.